Hey friends, we're on episode 8 today, and on this journey we're going on, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and we're going to talk about lighting, and we're going to talk about two different perennials that I have in my garden. They're a year old, one's more contemporary, and one is an old-fashioned perennial. So let's go over and look at my contemporary perennial first. Remember, they pop up every year. So this one, let's come on down here. This one is so cool. It is called a Mediterranean Spurge. I just discovered it somewhere, and I can't remember where I bought it. But what makes this unique, and I actually call it my Dr. Seuss plant, just so you know, because it looks like something out of Whoville. What I discovered with this one is all through the winter, it stays this low. So you always have the ground coverage, which is kind of cool, and the different textured leaves. Then early spring, all of a sudden, these spring up immediately, and they have this vibrant green and these tiny little flowers, very whimsical, very flighty. And then over here, late spring, another shoot happens, and it's deep green with these beautiful tiny little flirty flowers again. It's a kooky plant, and you know what? I like kooky in my life. So to me, this is my Dr. Seuss perennial. So let's move on to a more traditional, very old-fashioned perennial that used to be very popular many years ago, and it's starting to make a comeback, really more for ornamental and not for the purpose that it used to serve. This plant over here is called Yarrow, and Yarrow is known as soldier plant because this plant was in every war, going back to the Trojan War, because of its medicinal properties. So the plant part down below is what was used, and there was four major medicinal values to it, I should say, when they used this going to war, and I'll name them for you. The first was pain management. The second was for fever reduction, and these are the big ones. The third was for intestinal issues, but the most important one, and why it's a soldier plant, is because it clotted blood. So when the soldier, and I apologize for getting graphic here, but when the soldiers got an open wound, they took the compound of the yarrow and actually packed it into the open wound. And that was very important before modern medicine and modern techniques. Well, the soldier plant also was in the medieval times, and it was built all around the woodworker stations because the fortresses and the castles were made of wood at that time. So there was a lot of woodworkers. And a lot of woodworkers lost the old, they cut the old fingers, so they had to have that. Had to go there, sorry. So this is a beautiful plant. Now we use it for ornamental purposes only, but it did have a place in history. Now both this plant and my kooky little plant over there love the heat. They love the sun. They love the rain. They love the dryness. They love butterflies, bumblebees, and hummingbirds, but the deer and all the other pests don't like them. So these plants are actually a win-win. So my second part today we were going to talk about was lighting. And I love lighting because I love to use my evening out into my yard. I love part of my outdoor life. And I love to have that little twinkle and that beautiful little glow. So I got the Edison lights a couple years ago. And I found the best way to hang these Edison lights was to get yourself about an 8-foot pole, like this one. You can find them anywhere. Get yourself some of these little zip ties, pound it in 8 to 12 inches into the ground, and seal it up there with the zip tie, and that's it. I leave these up all year round, and they're perfect. But my favorite is the solar lights. This I absolutely love. And this solar spotlight goes anywhere. It feeds off the sun, obviously. It's transportable, and you can turn it on and off. And it adds a beautiful glow to any of your plants. So when you have that little gathering, or you're spending some time outside, you can turn these on and enjoy your plants that you're showcasing for yourself. Now, the Edison lights are actually on an app that I just discovered about 2 weeks ago. So when I'm done with my evening, all I have to do is push my phone in the comfort inside and turn off my lights. It's really neat, getting all techie now these days. So friends, we're going to end there. Next week, we're going to talk about annual planting and anchoring plants. I look forward. Love ya.